With training camp starting next week, I got some news and notes from our good man, Barry Jackson. What is up, Finn fans? Barry Jackson put out an article, and it has some interesting little tidbits in it. So I thought I'd make a video. We're going to go over it a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and read it to you. I'll give you a little, main points about it, and we'll talk about it. He talks about a few different things on here. The offensive line, Tua, Robert Hunt, Emmanuel Ogbah, what he has to say. Little things here and there. We're going to go over it, talk about it real quick. And then we get to one of you guys' comments of the day. But before we jump into that, I have to talk about two things. First, got a new patron in BipBop66. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. I keep telling you guys that I have a video coming out for the Patreon and the members and that tier that get the special videos. And I think tonight or tomorrow it'll be out. So either tonight being Thursday night or tomorrow being Friday, it will be out. It'll be I think it's the second episode of teaching you guys how to do this. I already have the first episode on the Patreon. I will be putting that over on the membership for, I think it's the undefeated tier. That's the one thing. Shout out BitBop for joining the Patreon. The other thing is I'm about 90% sure I'm going live this Sunday at 9 p.m. I'm going to do like a little pre-training camp live stream. Also, mostly I'm doing this live stream to test out all the stuff I have for you guys. So we're going to be hanging out, chatting. I'm going to answer your questions and all that stuff. But also you're going to help me work out the live stream, because I'm not going through StreamYards. I'm going through something else so I can have cool sounds. I can have all this stuff and make the Sundays and Thursday for the live stream so much fun. So much fun that you guys are going to have an absolute blast. So those are the two things that I wanted to talk about before we jumped into this fantastic article by Barry Jackson. Love Barry Jackson. Comes up with some really great things. So first thing he talks about is Willie McGinest. And if you know who Willie McGinest is, right? Great pass rusher for the New England Patriots. He came out and he defended Tua Tagovailoa. He says a lot of quarterbacks get a lot more rope that aren't as good as Tua. He can throw the ball down the field. I don't think we've had a fair assessment of what Tua really is. Give him more time like we give all these other quarterbacks and get off his back. He says McGinest expects a run-first offense with a lot of movement, misdirection, and easy throws to get Tua on a roll early in games. Hey man, he said it. He's not a former teammate. This is what I hear a lot too. This makes me laugh. I even wrote down, because I was going to talk about this, and I probably will talk about it again when I do my assessment of Tua and what I expect from him this season and all that jazz. But I wrote down the list of people who have come out and either talked about Tua and talks about the good, and they see how he can be what the Dolphins need and yada yada. And it always makes me laugh that when I come out and do this, where Willie McGinest comes out here and says he's not wrong. A lot of quarterbacks get a lot more time to develop a lot. Just Ryan Tannehill got 7 years than Tua. And every time I've talked about this, I hear the defense is, well, it's a quarterback defending quarterbacks, or he's getting paid to say that about Tua, or it's his teammate, he would say that about Tua. Here's the list, and I wrote them down again. I'll talk about this again when I do the assessment of Tua, but you can add Willie McGinest to it. You have Peyton Manning, Kurt Warner, Drew Brees, Louis Riddick, Jason McCourty, T.O., Chad Johnson, and again, now Willie McGinest have all come out and said and defended Tua Tagovailoa. And you could say, oh, quarterbacks are going to defend quarterbacks. Only 3 names on that list are quarterbacks. 2 of them have 4 of them have never played with Tua. Jason McCourty played with Tua. And he even said, this kid's good. I don't understand what everyone's saying. This kid's good. He comes out and he says what he says, right? You throw the ball down the field. I don't think we've had a fair assessment of what Tua can really do. Give him more time, like we have all these other quarterbacks, yada, yada. He says all this, right? And you can come out and say that the offensive line was horrible, blah, 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 and people call it excuses. And again, I'm probably getting ahead of myself because these are things I want to talk about in the fair assessment. But it makes me laugh because if your car doesn't start because there's no gas in it, is that an excuse? Or is that a reason your car doesn't start? Your car won't move because you have no wheels on it. Is that an excuse why your car won't move? Or is that a reason why your car won't move? The offense was stagnant because the Dolphins had the 32nd ranked offensive line and the 32nd ranked run game. Now, is that an excuse or is that a reason that the offense was stagnant? Just a little tidbit to drop there on you, because people like to throw the word excuse around, and I don't. As they said in Princess Bride, you keep using that word, but I don't think you know what it means. Inconceivable. For all the people who have seen that movie. The other thing they talked about, Manuel Ogbah came out and he said the speed is impressive, the best in years here. It's hard to tell their tendencies when it came to the offense, which is good to hear. You like to hear it being, thrown around, being changed up. Really, if you go back and watch me do the reaction of Brian Baldinger breaking down the run offense that Mike McDaniel is going to install with the Dolphins, you really get to understand where he's the misdirection and, hey, look over here, we're going to do something over here. There was a play where he took Kittle and he lined him up wide right. So he was essentially, I think it was the X position. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you. But far right, wide out. And the defense noticed it, literally pointed, the linebacker shifted over, the safety shifted over, and the corner shifted over. So three defenders. So if I'm the defender, I shift it to my left. If I'm the quarterback, I see them shifting to the right towards Kittle. 3 defenders shift over towards Kittle because they think something's going to happen with Kittle. And what do the 49ers do? They hand the ball off and do an outside zone to the left. You just took 3 defenders away from that. So it's going to be very interesting. They also talk about Terron Armstead in here, but let's be clear, the line remains the biggest question with this team, particularly in Terron Armstead and his durability issues. Talks about how during the little bit of time during OTAs, the offensive line was getting pushed around. But again, Terron Armstead wasn't there, which Barry Jackson equates to. But again, Terron Armstead has never played a full season. So even Barry Jackson comes out and says, if the Dolphins have to go with Lonnell Coleman, Greg Little, Kellen Diesch at left tackle, is that going to hinder what the Dolphins are going to do? He also says Connor Williams, a left guard for the Cowboys, needs to prove he can play center. Though he has the skills to excel there, provided he doesn't have issues with snapping. He's been great. It's a fair match. So Raekwon Davis is given high praise to Williams at center. Per PFF, Williams allowed the 3rd lowest quarterback pressure rate among all NFL guards last season at 2.6% behind Joe Thuney and Kevin Zeitler. He's only allowed 1 sack. I would love to have that at left guard, not at center. And this isn't a knock on me saying, oh, he can't play center or he won't be good at center. I would just prefer to have one of the best left tackles in the NFL lined up right next to one of the best left guards in the NFL and get a legit center. And then you have Robert Hunt, and then all you're worrying about is the right tackle. I would prefer that. O.J. McDuffie came on his podcast and said that when it comes to the offensive line, he says, I can't believe our guys we've drafted are that bad. It comes down to how they're being coached. The best thing they've done is all the offensive coaches all have O-line experience, and that is one of the things that I absolutely love, is that our offensive coordinator was an offensive line coach for the Chargers, and he took the Chargers' offensive line from one of the worst in the NFL to 10th. And then we have Applebaum, who had one of the best offensive lines in college football. So I'm just really hope they could turn that offensive line around. And all of a sudden, Austin Jackson, he just needed the coaching. Look how good he is now. Liam Eichenberg, he just needed the coaching. Look how good he is now. And then all of a sudden, we have a very good top 10 offensive line. The team's winning. We're 6-0, and my live streams are blowing up, and we're all having fun. That's all that matters to us. More the winning than my live streams. I would take I would take my channel get deleted if the Dolphins won the Super Bowl. If someone came up to me and said, the Dolphins will win the Super Bowl, but you have to delete your channel, I'm deleting my channel. As much as I love doing this, as much as I love you guys, if someone came up to me and said, the Dolphins will win the Super Bowl, but you have to delete your channel, I'm deleting my channel. I just want the Dolphins to win. So for people who call me Tua stans or whatever, no, I don't care. I just want the Dolphins to win. It's tattooed on me for a reason. Dolphins come first. Next, he talks about Robert Hunt and how Robert Hunt fits so well into this run scheme. And he does. Go back and watch what Robert Hunt did in college. He's going to excel in this zone run scheme. Talks about how great he loves it, all that stuff. He talks about Matt Applebaum. He says Matt is the guy that you can really tell cares about the room of the new offensive coach staff. Hunt says you can tell they want to teach. We've got some really good teachers in our room. Why we're doing everything, so it's a beautiful thing. I just love it. Please continue that. Continue that. On the addition of running back Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, Hunt said, it's just like Mostert. I just told Mostert this. I was like, damn, you're probably like one of the fastest guys I've ever seen hit a hole. Pause on that. I've been watching film just because we watch a lot of 49ers film right now, and he just whoosh. He gets the ball rolling. Chase Edmonds is nice too, really good. I love how he like kind of like, well, Chase Edmonds is nice too. I'm just gonna throw that one over there. Chase Edmonds is nice. Again, I really like the way this running back room looks. I think I talked about that in the last video. I do really like the way this running back room looks. I like the way the team has been built. Again, there's some little aspects, and I will talk about that in my video of, I think I don't remember what I name it, but it's like areas or positions that need to step up, whatever. There's the little pieces here and there I don't like, but I do like how the team is built. I think we have the best wide receiving room in the NFL. I like our tight ends. I do like our quarterbacks. I know some don't. I can name the ones that don't because I have conversations with all you guys. I like the running backs. I like the addition, right? Because at first we had Mostert and we had Edmonds. And I'm like, all right, you got these speedy little guys. And, we bring in Zaquandre White. We still had Jared Dokes. And I'm like, because then you have Savon Ahmed and Myles Gaskin. I'm like, then boom, they go and get Sony Michel. And I'm like, perfect. This is good. Perfect. I'm done. Running back room's perfect. I love it. Good. It's just now the offensive line needs to work. Just tie a little ribbon on that. Just fix that offensive line. Because the team will go nowhere if the offensive line doesn't do anything. Next thing I'll talk about is they're talking about Liam Eichenberg isn't the only player who switched positions. Liam Eichenberg going from tackle to guard, probably going to be the left guard. Saying Brennan Scarlett said that he's working a lot at defensive end after playing linebacker last year. That extra versatility should help his chances to stick. He will be competing with Melvin Ingram, among others, for snaps. And again, like I said to you guys in breaking down the linebackers, he's one of those names where really competing to make the roster. But that's what I got for you. Again, I read this article. There was little tidbits here and there that I thought were really, really interesting. I wanted to get it to you guys, and I want to hear you guys' opinions. So be sure to comment below. Let me know what you think about Willie McGinest being one of the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 so far people that have come to the defense of Tua Tagovailoa. What do you think about, what they're saying about the offensive line, all this stuff? Be sure to comment below, and I'm going to get to one of you guys' comments of the day. Comment comes from Hammer. What's up, brother? He says, comment of the day, which coach do you think will have the most impact? I think Darrell Bevell, myself, but who do you think? Darrell Bevell is one of those signings kind of like the Alec Ingold and the Cedric Wilson Jr. and even Sony Michel and some of these other guys that are not talked about a lot. Darrell Bevell is fantastic at quarterback coaching. Again, I talked about this when the Dolphins signed him, the quarterbacks he's worked with and who he's developed and all that stuff, right? That's that. So yes, I do agree. Darrell Bevell is, will make a big impact, especially into his development and hopefully taking that next step, shutting a lot of things down, and hopefully solidifying himself as the franchise quarterback. But to me, it's Applebaum. Applebaum and the offensive coordinator. I'm throwing a tour in there because the offensive line working, gelling, and being good. I'm not even saying elite or great. I'm saying good. Like, I hear it a lot that Tua needs everything around him perfectly, or Tua needs top 5 of everything. He doesn't. He just doesn't need the worst in the NFL around him. You can't get a fair assessment of anyone with the worst in the NFL around him. He just needs good. That's like, give me like 17th, 15th ranked offensive line, right? This offense can cook. If you can give me that. So I'm feeling Applebaum. And Frank Smith, right? These two guys, Frank Smith, like I just said maybe a couple minutes ago, helped the Chargers offensive line. Applebaum. Offensive line is so important. The last time the Dolphins made it to the playoffs was because of their offensive line. They literally got the nickname the Unicorn because it rarely happened. Offensive line. Please. I'm going to talk about it again. Again, I have a ton of videos. But that's what I got for you. I will see you guys tomorrow. Final video, we're breaking down the safeties. A lot of you guys were talking about safeties here and on Twitter about Eric Rowe and how he barely played. You'll be surprised because I have snap counts to show you where these safeties play the most. But that's tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll break down. Then, like I said, Sunday, I'm hoping at 9 o'clock, go live. We can chat about training camp. All questions you have, I'll answer, and we'll mess around with the live stream. Hopefully I can get it to work. Hopefully it looks good to you guys. All that stuff. And then Monday, previewing training camp. Then Tuesday, vets will be at training camp. Then Wednesday, training camp starts. First day for you guys, next Saturday. So, that, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. That fins up.